Hello people, welcome back. This is tutorial 4 and in this video we'll start by learning about what NPM is. So NPM is just Node Package Manager. By the name itself it confirms that it is the package manager for Node.js applications. So what is a package? Well, basically it's just a piece of code written by some other developer that you can make use of in your own softwares, in your own application, right? So whenever you install Node, you get access to NPM, right? Like so. And using NPM, we can create our own applications, right? For now, this project was just a folder containing one file called app.js, but now we will finally initiate our first Node.js application. To do so, all we'll say is npm init and pass in a flag called -y, just so that we say yes to all these properties, because as of now these don't really matter, right? Okay, next what we'll do is we'll install a package, and a very important package for the whole series, based on top of it actually. It is npm I to install, or you can say install, well, I works as well, express, like so. And once you do that, it installs express from npm, right? You can visit the website npmjs.com and search for express, like so. Yes, and then you can go ahead and read about the package, what the package is all about, and then again you get installation instructions right here. Okay, let's get back. Our express is installed, I believe. Now you can go ahead to your package.json file that was created when we initiated the project, and the dependencies you can see express has been added with the version number that was currently installed to the project. Okay, now what we can do is we can remove all the code that we wrote before, and we'll create the similar server, the same server, using express this time. All we have to say is first import express. So we'll say import const express require express, just like that. And then again we'll create an app and invoke this function, say express, right? And all we have to do is just listen, just like we did for the HTTP server in the previous video. We'll say listen on port 3000, and it automatically knows that it should be on localhost 3000. So that's what we really need. Now what we can do is we can say node app.js, and it starts running our application, I believe. Yes, it does, but the thing is we can't hit any request because we are not listening to any endpoints. And before we add any other endpoint, let us add one more package so that whenever we make a change to our app.js or any source code of the application, the server gets restart, right? So a very important and a very popular package is nodemon. Okay, this is not going to affect our whole application in terms, but it will be very helpful for our development journey, right? To install nodemon, all we have to do is nodemon install -d, or just copy this command, whatever this is, all right? And it globally installs nodemon. Nodemon is installed, so I can say nodemon instead of node and say app.js. Now whenever there is a change in our app.js file, the whole server is going to restart. So all I have to say is app.get. This is to listen to a get request. Again, we discussed what are get, post, and few other requests in our previous videos, right? On the main endpoint, on the entry point, and then again we'll pass resource, not resource, it's request and response, and we are going to return something because again it's a very simple server. Rest.send hello world works for now. Just like that. And once we saved our file, our server got a restart, right? We can again pass in a callback function that tells us whether the server is up and running. So we can always do a console log and say server is up and running, just like so, right? And we see server is up and running. Let us quickly go back to our browser and try to hit a request at localhost 3000, right? Yeah, and we see hello world. People, that's how it's simple to create a server using Express. Let us now create another request and another endpoint. That is going to be a get endpoint again. Let us go for info this time, right? And again, we will have a request and response object, just like so, right? And this time we'll say, the beauty of using Express is that we can now inject HTML directly in here. So I can say h1, that is going to be a heading, and say this is info, just like that, right? And let's put the closing tag right there. Okay, that's sweet. The servers restart. Let's go back to our browser and let's go to /info, right? Okay, now let us try to hit a page that does not exist, /me. Okay, so we are getting this message that says cannot get me. This is generated by Express itself, but you can have your own message as you can have your own message as well, right? So let's get this message. Let's say app.get, and instead of binding it with any kind of endpoint, let's just simply pass a request response, and here we will say rest.send something went wrong, or error 404, whatever that suits, right? And then let's go back and try to hit this endpoint. Okay, yeah, okay, so we have to use instead of get. So whenever we do this, and now whenever there is a endpoint that does not exist, we suppose we go for /me, we are going to see this message, right? And now what you have to observe is that the positioning of this use, I have positioned it after all these endpoints, right? And one more important thing that we need to ensure is that we have to say return, so that this function ends right here whenever we are returning a response, right? So if I remove it from here and place it before any other of our endpoints, instead let's place it before info, right? So again, I'll try to go to the home page, the 3000. Okay, we get hello world, and let us now try to go to the info page, right? Okay, so now again we are seeing something went wrong. Okay, some went wrong. I should have spelled it correctly. Yeah. So what's happening is, instead of going to the /info, it knows that it's not bound to any endpoint. So if it's not this, then it directly goes to this. And since return sends us some response, it does not even care what's after that, right? So it's very important to where you really position this use, and that's why we place it after all our endpoints, so that it tries to match whether the endpoint exists or not. So if there's something that does not exist, it directly shows us the something went wrong 404 error, right? People, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you loved it, hit the subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.